So as the year draws to an end, we all tend to look back over this year and have a look at the mistakes we've made and the successes we've had. So on this one, I'm going to share with you the 5 what I consider mistakes. Well, not really mistakes. Some are mistakes. Some are more things I wish I hadn't done, things I wish I'd done different, and things I've done wrong as mistakes. So without further ado, I'm going to dive in and have a look at these 5 mistakes. I've only picked 5. Probably a lot more, but I've picked 5. So let's go back in time and put right what I did wrong. So the first one we're going to talk about is this one. Basically, I made this thinking I was clever, trying to be a smart ass, and a bit is in the backseat, to be quite honest. It's this, the brine shrimp hatchery. I tried to be clever, like I say. I tried to make it as an egg tumbler that I could quickly adapt into a brine shrimp hatchery and hook it on the inside of the tank like that to keep warm, so I didn't have to introduce a heater into that. Now it's not really a mistake, it's just it could have been designed better. Anyone that's ever tried to make one of these would know I didn't. I did, but I tried to, like I say, I tried to be clever. If you make it like a cone shape to congregate the brine shrimp, congregate at the bottom, so it's easier to extract the brine shrimp from it. When it's flat like that, you congregate anywhere along the bottom, and you always end up wasting more than you need to. So this was the first mistake I made. I even made a video about it, how to make it. Don't get us wrong, it would have worked fantastically if I had done it better and made it a proper bottle rather than a juice jug. I just seen this handle, fell in love and thought, let's go that direction. Wasn't the right direction. So that's mistake number 1. So in at number 2 is this, the island dirted tank. Now I've done a couple of videos on setting this up, buying plants off eBay and all that sort of stuff. And it seemed like a really good idea at the time, but the plants turned out to be rubbish. And I didn't have enough money to continue going on with this tank at the time. So I put it on the back burner to my detriment and let it turn into the mess it is today. So I need to get back on track with this. Strip it down, start again. Is it going to be a dirty tank in the future? I don't know. I think I've done a success with that one up on the top, but with this one I think I jumped in too quick, and I should have thought about it a bit more, planned it out, and at least had the funds to see it through. That was the biggest thing. I didn't have the funds to replace the plants that perished straight away from eBay. Didn't have the funds, and now looking back, I should have really continued back then, but I didn't. So that is mistake number 2. But we can't save it, or as you'll see further on in the video, there may be something else we're going to do. Next up at number 3 is this. Now this might shock you, but Shrimptown rack has been a disaster, to be quite honest. From the second I made it, I realised it was enclosing us into this tiny little space. Now I was feeling more and more claustrophobic in this area. So in the new year, this is going to change. Now I haven't wasted them, because I'm actually going to give these to Ash, because he's swapping shops over from the downstairs shop to a bigger premises just next door, that's got a downstairs and an upstairs. So these are going to go over to his shop, and he can make use of them in the upstairs for quarantine tanks or something like that. And as you'll find out later, I've got bigger plans in mind. It was a mistake, and I wasn't enjoying making it. I jumped in, I had the tanks, thought get in, and then I moved the tank from the top and I thought, well, it'll fit in there. I couldn't quite easily do this. But you'll see later on in the video the plans I'm going to have rather than Shrimptown rank. As you can see, work ceased and it turned into tank shelving space just for junk to clutter. That's what it is, and that's what I hate. I hate clutter. I'll show you later. Like, you can see that this garage is just clutter, but it's going to change in the new year. Fingers crossed. This was mistake number 3. Even starting this, I shouldn't have. I got too excited. I sold shrimp, and I'm going to hold my hands up. I got too excited. I was selling shrimp, thinking I had made it big time. Backfired on us because it's all the things you've got to buy in the meantime, and my heart just went in it. I can't see anything else. My heart did just dip and got put on the back burner. I kept on trying to bring it around. I've got half a video made upstairs of how I made it and all that sort of stuff. Just never got around to finishing it. That's to my detriment, to be quite honest. I should have seen it through. But the more I was doing it, like I said, the more I felt like I was just getting enclosed into this small area where it's like day to day I'm touching one tank, touching the other tank. And I never wanted it to be like that. I wanted this to be my little zen space to come and chill in. And the more I was feeling like that, I just couldn't feel like I was chilling. So that is it. Mistake number 3. Shrimptown rack. So number 4, I'll show you just a little bit of it. There. The airline system that I put in. Basically, I was trying to be too clever to reduce the silicon lines to each of the outlets. So I tried to make this big, fancy, like old radiator kind of thing, to be quite honest. The taps on it all over. I should have used a bigger gauge pipe and just had the pipe along the top, how everyone does it. But I thought I'll try and be clever. That's the common theme of this. I was trying to be clever, and it's backfired. Because the pipe isn't big enough to have a contained amount of pressure, you're trying to adjust the valves to suit each outlet. Now that's all right, because you can't do that, and it's if you're getting the air stone bleed off part, if you can balance it yourself within what's there. But I just wish I had used bigger gauge pipe from the start, and then that way I could have just kept it along the top and run the cables down and hid them down the back of the rack system and all that sort of stuff. I could have done that way, and it would have been a lot more neater than seeing this white pipe. Because at the end of the day, I made this all black to try and like look cool. And that's another thing. Does it look cool? No, it actually makes the room feel dark, dingy. So maybe even changing the wall colour and who knows. But that is mistake number 4 is the airline system. I should have used a bigger gauge pipe at least and just had it along the top of the fish room to where I needed it and ran pipes down how everyone does, and it would have been a much better and easier project to do, because as things are going now, I cannot really extend it, you know what I mean, without making more mistakes and compounding the mistake I first made. Like now, if I have to go back to shrimp rack, I'd have to go along the top and then down again, and then it's just getting too complicated. And I've decided to draw a line under that one and change it after the new year. Probably around about February, I might start doing this. So, finally, number 5, the big one. I have to hold my hands up this one and say I wish I'd never done it from the very start, and it's one of them that's always in the back of my mind. Do I change it? Do I change it? Do I change it? Because the more I'm putting it into the fish room, the more I'm hitting that part where I just wish I had just bit the bullet and changed it. Yes, the biggest one is the fish office. At the time, having a desk was fantastic. I was working down here nicely. Job's changed. Don't need the desk. and little just quirky things that I should have really took into consideration. I didn't. Things like the tank's been on floor level. It's hard to get a siphon going to clean out the tanks when you're working off floor level. As I found out with the angelfish fry, it's a nightmare trying to keep that tank clean because you're not having that potential difference in levels to siphon it out properly. And I am struggling, to be quite honest. So that is the big one. And it's going to change in the new year. Hence, all the other ones fall into place to see why I'm doing the things I'm doing. It's going to change. So in the new year, what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of it, start again. And along this wall, we're going to just have a row of tanks. That's what it's going to be. Just one plain row from the boiler to the garage door. And then that way, everything falls into place much better. Airline system straight along the top to all the tanks. Water, replenish from there in all the tanks. Water removal from there, well, all of them into a system. We'll come up with a system to drain off from there, where I can just do tap on, overflow over, and that's my water change done. Because I am struggling. Water changes aren't very nice. You like to be ergonomically friendly when you're doing things like your water changes, but I'm just not. And it's getting to the part where when you're not enjoying it, you tend to try and put it off as long as you can, and your fish suffer because you're doing that. So that's what's going to happen in the new year. We are going to go from what we've got, remove it, start again. Cut your losses, do it right. Do it how you should. And then I can always extend it later on. I can always put another rack in, something like that. I can always move it across after I've had a big tidy out of this garage. Because this garage is a proper midden. What I plan on doing is putting racking in the loft and going to have a lot of stuff. Because I mean, I've got boxes of CDs. I mean, who uses CDs and DVDs? You can't even sell them now, if I mean anything else. That ship sailed for that sort of stuff. So we're going to put a lot of stuff up in the loft, make a lot more space, go through everything, because there's going to be a load of stuff here that I don't need. I mean, in some of the containers, I've got drawer runners of kitchens I used to put in when I was 18. I'm 52 now, you know what I mean? When I used to make me handmade kitchens for people. Now, I'm 52, so that's how old the drawer runners are. Yet I've still got a box of them, you know. Why are you keeping them? I mean, I will keep them because I can probably use them in and make drawers on the bottom, because I'm going to have the new rack a little bit higher to get that siphoning action going, so it's all sorted. So I'll be on that space underneath, I'll have drawers, who knows. But stick around and you'll find out in the new year how it looks. Like I say, probably start in February. So that's the 5 things that I consider are my biggest mistakes this year. I know there's been a lot more, but I've tried to limit it down to 5, keep the video short, give us a little bit of insight. You know, not everything doesn't work properly first time around, and it hasn't this time, but we're going to change it. So hopefully you've had a good year so far yourselves, and you haven't made as many mistakes, and hopefully next year it's going to be good for the pair with. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing, because this year, that is one of the successes this year, I should really say. If you have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I've got over 1,000 subscribers. I'm nowhere near on the watch hours. It goes up and down like that, so I'm not even worried about it. I'm not chasing it. I'm just pleased that you're watching. Hopefully it gets better, and hopefully you stick around for the journey. So until next time, have a good new year, and I hope you had a blast at Christmas. Until next time, ta-ra!